Happy Friday, everyone!
Happy Friday.
Hey, welcome again to another after show chat for Bruhaha Fun. So, I know we said yesterday that we weren't going to do a live tonight, but apparently emotions
Yep.
are strong.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to do like an after show chat to be able to deal with all of these emotions because we are still on a high
Exactly.
from watching not just one, but two shows tonight. So, one was Pearl Next Door, obviously, that premiered tonight. But
Mm-hmm.
tonight we are going to be talking just about Gaya sa Pelikula, in deference to those people who haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
One of our members have not
Mm-hmm.
all seen it yet, right? So that's why it was a last minute decision. So if you are here, thank you for joining us. And for one, Nolan, yes, it was a surprise for us too. We
Yep.
weren't planning on
Hey,
it, so it just happened. As with everything in life, you
Yes.
just gotta roll with the punches, and when an opportunity comes, and emotions are heightened, and so things can happen. And this is one of those things that happened for tonight.
emotions are heightened.
Oh
Correct, di ba?
yes, definitely.
Right. So, basically, it is the fifth episode of Gaya sa Pelikula. It
Mm-hmm.
premiered at 8 p.m. today.
Mhm.
So, guys, how are you feeling about it?
Right.
What can you say?
Wait, before anything else, I'm that member who actually sort of like backed out from the live supposedly, diba? Because I
Yep.
was actually
Yeah, yeah.
watching Miss Universe Philippines around 8 o'clock. And then after watching, like after 2 hours, I had to watch like Gaya sa Pelikula. And then, oh my God. Okay, now we're here. So
Yep.
thank you guys
Right.
for saying yes to this live.
Hi, Ange. Thank you for
Hi,
joining us.
Ange.
Right. Oh, and by the way, I just want to also acknowledge somebody
Yay.
from our chat. So, Mike Tolendres. Hello, then. Thank you for being here.
Hey.
And
Oh,
somebody
hey,
just popped in as well.
hey,
We have
Mike.
Pietro. Oh,
Pietro.
Earn of
oh,
your own
nandito ka na
Ngayon
time.
pa lang
now.
daw sila manonood.
Naku, so
Nagmamarathon
sana hindi
sila.
namin ma-spoil kayo dyan. But in any case,
Oo.
Yeah,
if you want to
remember
keep it
they
in the background.
mentioned that they were before that they wanted to watch it because of Ate Judith. So let's see.
Yeah, right. So
Let's
once you're done
see.
watching it, let us know and your comments, your thoughts on it. And hi, Kapono.
Hi, Gabono.
Hey,
Aloha.
Kapono. We
Oh,
also
Hi,
have
Rachel.
Rachel.
wait. By the
Hey,
way,
hey, hey,
Rachel is
hey.
also a reactor, so she does video reactions as well.
Cool.
So Rachel,
Hello,
if you wanna put
Rachel.
your channel in the comments so that people in the chat can also follow and check out your videos. So thank you for
Yep.
being
Also
here.
promote your channel.
Bedank. Thank you, well.
Yes, and also Survivor Z.
Hi,
Hey, thank you
Z.
for being here. Appreciate it. So I'm sure that all of those folks have already seen Gaya sa Pelikula.
Ooh.
So make sure that you also
I
provided
think
your
just
comments,
hope.
your thoughts, your opinions about the episode because we wanna
Yes, sakto
share.
yan.
We wanna share, right? Ayan. So hi Ange, glad you could join us tonight.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay.
Probably because it's a
Sobrang busy
later,
schedule mo.
right?
I
So some of our
survived.
members only free up at around this time, 11
Mhm.
o'clock, because of
And it's
work.
a
Tama ba?
Friday. It's my
It's a
happy.
Friday.
Yes. um, what did Pono say?
Yeah, he was saying a while
I
ago, is it
wasn't.
only in YouTube? So he found it in Facebook too.
Yeah, it is also on
Well,
Facebook. So it's
Cool, cool, cool.
simulcast. Right. Why am I not surprised that they're yeah, because they are
Yep.
drinking buddies, basically.
Yeah,
And
they
it's a
drank
Friday
As
drank.
thing.
always.
Yep, it is a Friday thing, and I think they're starting the Friday thing to watch BL. So I hope they go
yeah,
more.
it's my Friday thing.
Yes. And this is
Also,
our Friday
Yeah.
thing when
Yep.
schedule
Yeah.
permits, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a good thing that Ange was able to join us. Hopefully later on, a few of our other members, or maybe hopefully all of them, are able to join us later on. We'll see,
Hmm.
Yes.
so that you guys can all meet them. Alrighty. So
Whew.
ano, wait.
Oh, wait lang, may question pala, oh.
Oh,
ano?
Mike. Episode 5, guys, sa pelikula was premiered 8 p.m. kanina. So if you want, you can watch it na lang and or watch it muna. And then when you're done, you can come
Might
back.
be
And if we're
spoiled
still here,
here.
you can share. Yeah,
Yes,
because
please.
Yeah.
we are going to be talking about spoilers here. So if you don't want to be
Yeah.
spoiled, go watch it first and then come back.
Yeah, just to confirm, we're
Yes,
only
yes,
doing
yes.
an after show, not a live reaction to this. So better watch it first.
Yes, correct. We're just going to be talking about it. We're not going to be viewing it here. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
So, ano
So,
na?
who would like to, ano na, sinong gusto mag-umpisa? Who would like to start?
Oh, ano mo yung
Whew.
mga, ano natin, mga good things about this particular episode?
But we have a
What made you
bomber
happy?
pa in the first place.
Well, that's a good question.
Tanggalin na lang
That's a
natin
good
yung
question.
bomber.
Do we
Let's-
have any
do we
bummers
have
at all?
bummers?
Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah, let's see.
Are we
Sige,
gonna answer
ako wala.
simultaneously? One,
Ako
two.
wala,
Din,
wala.
No.
Wala.
No bummers
Wala talaga.
whatsoever. So we only have good things to say
Yan.
about the episode for
Mm.
tonight. And I don't know if you will agree with me,
Everything.
guys, but
Mm.
what I'm seeing is that every episode it gets better and better. What do you
Oh
think?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
I super
totally.
agree with this.
And we're getting
Grabe.
closer and closer to the event that happened in the trailers. Because I
Oo.
remember talking to one of the
Yes.
actors before saying that by this moment, I think that a slow dance would appear, and it did.
Probably yes, it
Yeah.
did. It did. Right?
Grabe.
And I think it was Juan Miguel Severo who mentioned that, or was it Pau? I'm not sure. But one of them mentioned
Mm.
that their favorite episodes are 4 and 5.
Now I understand why.
I understand why.
kaya.
Because it's the
And if it's
it's sort of
foreign,
like the what do you call that?
It's the climb. It's
in the
about.
story.
It's
It's
ready for the
about
climax.
to right. Yes, that's where it gets good. You know, that's
oh, you know, I
basically
have a
builds the
bummer
foundation.
pala. I have a bummer.
Oh,
Kasi
May
we're
bombers.
okay.
Okay.
ending now. I can't believe it's only 3 episodes left.
Oh, right.
Oh.
I
So that's sort
can't.
of a yes.
Ah,
Because we want to see more, right? And we can't
Yeah.
imagine how they'd be able to do so much in 3 episodes. But I'm hopeful because so far, in every episode that we've seen, there were a lot of things that happened. In fact, this episode is about 30 minutes and 48 seconds long, but it
Mhm.
felt so short
Oh yes,
because
it did.
the flow was very natural.
bitin.
It was very seamless. And it seemed like it felt like you wanted it to go on longer because of the cliffhanger at the end. Right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Michelle says I love Ian's hair. Well, yeah.
Okay,
That's why
okay. I love
that's why
him in
Carl
this episode.
keeps touching it. Right? Absolutely. Oh, okay. Mike. All right.
Same
Mikey
with
sings
me,
FB
Nolan,
po,
yes.
di po
It has
makita.
become my
Me too.
Official Pinoy BL.
All right, sorry. Mike, you can watch it on YouTube. It's there. Just search for the Globe Studios
Yeah.
channel. Episode 5 is going to be there. Yeah, don't watch on Facebook because I don't think Globe Studios uploads it on Facebook, unless I'm mistaken.
They don't.
But the best is go to YouTube. It's there.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I think you were mentioning that Nolan said, okay.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
guys
see it
feel
in
the
two
same?
waves. I see it in 2 waves though. I mean, the
I have
first
to-
wave, because it was Game Boys. The second wave is Gaya sa Pelikula. So
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I think
Fair enough.
they're different iconic series in a way. Because
Yes.
I think Game
Mm-mm-mm.
Boys came in a moment na let's try to take a risk,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
that created the second wave, which Gaya sa Pelikula changed that wave again when it came.
Right.
True.
Okay. Oh, but I do have a question though. When do you say that there is a second wave already of the new
Oh,
series?
that's a good
When do you know
question.
Yeah,
that it's the start of the first wave and second wave? Kailan natin masasabi?
sa akin,
Yeah.
it's just like, di ba, the first wave was all when makasabay na Game Boys, My Day, In
In
Between,
between,
that
Hello
um,
Hello,
Stranger.
stranger.
Hello
Hello
Hello,
Stranger.
Strangers.
Yeah,
Those are the first waves. Kasi sabay-sabay
I
sila
think.
nag-release, sunod-sunod sila nag-release. Then the next wave came
Okay.
with GSP, Boys Lockdown, with
Right, right,
others.
right, right.
So para siyang ganun. So it's wave
So
na overlapping, kumbaga.
right, so
Mhm.
parang may implicit pause sort of from the first release nung bulk na yon, right? And then we have now
Yeah,
like a quick pause and then we now have like the next release of like this new bulk, yun yung second wave natin. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes.
yes, absolutely correct. Yes,
Yes, come
Kapono.
on. Oh, we
Actually,
agree.
I mean, I
I'm
have
not
nothing but love.
about.
Oh, you are?
Love.
Why? Why,
I
Anne?
just
Sige,
wanna pet
Ad.
him. He's the cutest. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I'm fangirling another Q&A.
Oo naman.
Just went in my bias list. Wow, I
Yo,
love
True, true.
wow.
Yun.
Cool.
We got tier
Uy,
na.
God
Sabi
year
ni
Yes.
V.
na.
my wow,
This is
wow.
something that was
Yes.
mentioned. That was something that was mentioned in
Yes.
the Zoom hotel. I mean,
Mm,
even for with just 5 episodes, it seems or
right.
it appears to have the same level of caliber as Game Boy. But again, like
Yeah.
Blanche mentioned, different.
It's different. Yeah.
Totally
I don't know,
different.
like
Eh.
Yeah, they're different
because
waves,
one
they're
is more
different
about games,
landscapes.
correct?
Yeah.
Because one is
Mhm,
about games and
mhm.
this one is about movies. So of course they're totally different,
Right.
but they are in the same
Very
level.
valid.
We would have to say in terms of maybe the acting, the talent, the production
Mhm, mhm.
value, and also the storytelling. So definitely,
Yes.
Right, right.
that's why they're gone
I
tier.
have the same. Wait, ako lang ha, siguro parang just to naging defensive ako sa series na to. So some may have probably claimed that it's actually a copycat of what's this? Theory of
Theory of
Love.
love.
Theory of
Oh, it's
love.
I
not.
disagree.
It's not.
I
I
disagree.
disagree. I
I totally
disagree.
disagree. It's totally different. It's like totally
It's
Oh
it's totally
yes,
different
it's
package.
I disagree
absolutely.
so much because I'm a fan of Theory of Love too. So I disagree
Same.
that it's it's so different in a way. The common
Right.
theme lang is they're borrowing themes from movies, and that's it.
Movies.
Mhm.
That's the common thread of both.
Right.
Hi Jericho,
Right.
hola.
Hi,
Right.
Jericho.
I think that's the main thing, right? I mean, that's the main similarity between the two is that they reference movies. But then in terms
Yep.
of the treatment, it's totally different, right?
Yeah, so
And
Mhm.
we are using original Filipino movies, we're using original Filipino music, and in terms
yep.
of the referencing, it's totally different as well. So,
Pero ano lang,
There are a lot
question.
of movies
Sige,
and
go
hi,
on.
TV
Jericho.
copying other movies din so it's not the first time. It's not
Exactly.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
there's
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
patent on
kaya they
people
can
using
claim.
movies as
Correct.
references in their movies or in their
Right.
shows,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, if you think about it, there are no new ideas anymore. It's just in the way that it is sold. For
Yes.
them, it was sold from a Thai perspective, and from us, it's from a
Right.
Philippine perspective. So the experiences
Mhm,
are going to be
mhm.
different as well. Oh
Yep,
yes,
and yes. at least they're moving it on Monday. Thank God they did
Right.
yes.
that.
What I'm
Okay.
hoping is that they start Monday and they keep the Monday time slot.
Yes, please,
Sana,
please.
please. Diyos ko,
Because
day.
my God,
We can,
Friday, Saturday,
we
and
cannot keep
Sunday,
up, mom.
we cannot keep up. The
Lakan,
stress.
if you're watching, please stay on Monday.
Come
Please, I
Please stay
on.
on
beg you.
Monday. You will kill that time slot. You have no competition in that time slot. You will own that time slot.
Yes.
Yes.
And we'll be doing another
Hi,
live on Monday, too.
you. We'll see, but
Yep, we'll
I'm
see.
hoping. I'm hoping, yeah, because the Khan is one of the shows that I'm really looking forward to because again, it is
Right.
something very, very different, right?
Yeah. And what I appreciate about Gaya sa Pelikula is that they used original Filipino music. especially taken from
Mm,
the indie scenes,
Yes.
from Up
right.
Dharma Down to Equelli, who's a new singer
Yeah.
today, and
What's the
Marshmallow.
song? The
Which
song
one?
in this episode? What's the
There's two
title?
Uh,
songs. One's from Kuweli
The
called
ending, the ending.
Magkaibigan o Magkaibigan, and the other one
uh-huh.
is Nasan Ka Uluna.
Oh, Luna,
That's
right.
by Mars
Luna.
Mango, and Kuweli is one of the singers, I think.
And that's one of the
Mm.
things that I really like about this well, not just about this episode, but about this entire series. I think that's one of my delighters is that they are introducing me personally to Filipino music because I mean, Filipino music we usually know the more popular ones, by Regine
Ben
Velasquez,
and
by
Ben.
the big names, Ben and
And
Ben.
Mostly
But then
balladeers.
correct, but then we have
then,
also music from these maybe lesser known
Mhm.
artists, and now they're being recognized and acknowledged because they are being featured in this huge hit, right? And absolutely, the songs are
Yes.
giving us the feels, just like what Jude said.
Yeah.
It's part of the package, giving us all the heart and the love and the feels. So we,
And
yeah,
and what I
truly,
love about it
truly.
is they tie the same song with the lyrics, with the melody, with the tune, with the theme. It's as if the
mm,
songs, the lyrics of the songs are part of the dialogue in the story.
Yep.
exactly.
I
It's very
agree.
seamlessly tied into it.
Lalo
Nakakatawa
when,
sila, ano,
ayan,
sila Darren and si
ayan na.
Pietro, naka-mute siya at the moment.
Oh,
Bilis
Darren,
lang
you're on
yan.
episode 3.
Habol kayo dito.
Congrats.
You have to
Yeah,
be here. Watch it quick.
matagal-tagal pa naman tayo mag-uusap. Mabilis yung series na yan.
Yes. Yes.
All
Again,
right.
I
So,
think Jericho was saying something about the music choices.
mm,
It creates the mood
Yes.
in the episode. I'm glad they're using
Yes.
Filipino artists. Yes,
Yes. And I
totally.
love
think
that.
I tweeted before then that I've seen some of them parang on their indie stages before, and it's fun to see them right now performing in a bigger
Yep.
stage, in the virtual
Yeah.
stage.
Mm-hmm,
Oh.
mm-hmm. Right. Wait, here's a comment from Rochelle. No, I can probably
Mm.
start off with my delighters.
Go.
Everything
Go.
that I really like about this episode. Yes, I have to agree with you. It's Rochelle or
Yes.
Rochelle? Rochelle, right?
Michelle.
Rochelle.
Michelle.
Rochelle. Um, she's well. I basically have like two things, but everything else, like I will leave it up to you guys. No. So one thing is I like Anna super. Yung sinabi niya talaga yung
Same.
chinemer, yung nagkikwento siya about this horror story sa UST. Tapos cadaver pala yung mama. Chinemer.
Chinemer cadaver.
Glamour.
I super
Chinemer.
love her. Kasi super tama yung sabi nila sa group chat eh. Parang baklang friend. Alam mo yun. Na parang gusto ko siya
Right.
maging
Yung baklang
BFF.
friend.
Exactly. Parang I would like to have her as my best friend. Yun lang. Anna's like super honest, super straightforward, but it's not really annoying eh. It's like
Yes.
she's
No.
adorable at the same time.
Kasi we have a
I
friend
super
like
like her.
that, so
Yes. Truly,
But her
truly.
character
So I
is
feel
not mababaw also. Parang she has struggles din.
oh,
yes, yes.
Yeah.
super. Pero ang galing ng ng pagka multifaceted niya as an actress
Yeah.
eh, because
Yeah.
showing this comedic character as Anna, but at the
Mhm.
same time she was able to like to narrate her own story eh. Then na parang she left her daughter, so on and so forth. Parang I kind of felt
Yeah.
that because in reality you see or these people who try to mask their struggles in life at the end of the day. And I really appreciate her. And I'm loving her all the more. And good thing that she
Mhm.
has more exposure in this episode because I saw through her eh, 'di ba? So, pero ito
Yeah,
talaga tumatak
yeah.
talaga sa akin yung Chinemer eh.
Yung
Chinemer,
Chinemer,
cadaver,
Junakis.
She has a lot of
super love.
she has a lot of comedic lines, right? Like for example, when she
Yes.
was telling the
Yeah.
ghost story, and then she was at the
Uh,
part where and the nurse was writing something on the clipboard, and then Vlad asked
right.
something like, "What was she writing?" And she was like, "Well, I'm not a nurse, right? So how do I
Yes,
know
yes.
what she was writing? Okay, Kalma, can I tell the
Oh
story?"
my God.
I
Oh
was like,
my
and that's one of the
God.
things that I commented in the hotel Zoom. I was saying that
Right.
she has perfect comedic
Hey.
timing. Hi, Mark. Right,
Oh,
Hello.
and
okay.
like you mentioned, she's not only multifaceted, but when she was telling her story, we saw her as a well, not a multi, but a three-dimensional character, like a fully fleshed
Mhm,
character.
mhm.
She wasn't just a
Yeah.
she
Right.
wasn't just a caricature
Yeah.
anymore. She wasn't just
She
the
wasn't
neighborhood
just there to
gossip.
bring the fun. She
Right.
also had her own story and
Right.
struggle.
And one thing that I liked about what she said was, since it is a pandemic, right, and we're all talking about mental health, So when she said that she's taking a break from taking care of somebody
Mhm,
else, she needed to be alone.
mhm, mhm,
Well, that's very important, right?
mhm.
I mean, that's what you need sometimes. You need to take a break from all your worries and your stresses and just focus on yourself and take some time off to maybe be alone because maybe you need that time to be able to regroup or maybe
True,
to
true.
rejuvenate or to refresh yourself or your mind or your heart or your
Yeah.
soul.
Right, right,
Um,
right, right.
but there, so what we know about her now is that she is a mom and that she didn't have, well, she ended a relationship, I guess. She is estranged from the father of her child.
Mhm,
Yep.
But
mhm,
now the child is with the father so
mhm,
that the
mhm.
child can bond with the father and she is taking time for herself as well. So she's, and also we found
Right.
out that she got pregnant during prom.
It's
So
a
Mhm.
she had a
Catholic
wild,
it's a
school.
common story. It's very
so, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that was also sort of like a conversation piece wherein Vlad mentioned that, hey,
Right.
you're the reason why I didn't have a prom because they were scared that people would get pregnant again. So thank you for that, right? So
Yep.
the way that they're all tied together,
Mhm.
and all connected, and in a way, sort of like in each other's lives. I mean, I thought it was well written. It was well done, right? And she's also a very um, good and versatile actress because she could do like story telling
Mhm.
horror stories, so telling the drama in her
Yeah.
life, to sort of like being sarcastic, being fierce. I mean, she can do it all, and she can do it comfortably and naturally. So yeah, I agree with you. She was
Mhm.
also a delighter for me, a revelation.
Yeah, me too.
Hi, Mark. Hello.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
Man.
So since Mark came in,
Ay,
just came in, maybe initial thoughts from Mark?
Do you have a
Yeah,
bummer? If you have one?
may
you
bummer ka
have.
ba?
Wala. I don't
Yes.
have any bummers for this
yes,
episode.
lahat tayo wala.
Walang bummer si Mark!
No bummers for us. Oh my
Si Mark
god.
talaga
Si
yung
Mark,
inaabangan natin
si
yung
Mark
bummer.
inaantay
By
natin.
the way, just to let you guys know, in this panel there is at least one of us who will have a bummer, and the fact that none of us have a bummer, and the fact that Mark doesn't have a bummer, that's
It's a good
really
episode.
good.
It's very rare.
It's
It's
very
very
rare.
rare.
It's very rare. So you celebrate. Yes, Mark,
Yes.
go ahead. Anything else you want to say? Initial thoughts, feelings?
Well, as I've told you guys earlier, in our group chat that I in this episode I know where to put my finger. So it means that I am very satisfied. I I'm lost for
Yeah.
words. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Because
it was such a roller coaster of emotions in the good and the
true.
best possible way. And um if I may say that there's a very distinct scene for me that's I can call it as the satisfier A.
The pool
That,
convo.
yeah,
Yes.
actually. I don't. There's this something with GSP with Gaya sa Pelikula that other BL series, Filipino, Thai, Korean, Chinese, Taiwanese,
I will.
do not
I will.
have. Hello.
Hmm.
Hey, Will.
Um, there's this always they have this. I don't know. There's this something with Gaya sa Pelikula that's so distinct of them. It's so responsibly done. It's so the
Mm-hmm.
messaging is so on point, especially now, especially
Agree.
in our generation. It's not something that passes by and then that has a similar story with another series,
Right.
BL or not. It's so creatively done in such a way that the messaging is so on point. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
message because it's different. It's different when the storytellers try to convey what they want to express in a story, and then it doesn't
Right.
translate to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But for
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gaya sa
Mm-hmm.
Pelikula, it's so good that they are really effective in translating the message that they want to put across into
Mm-hmm.
the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
effective,
Right.
and especially in the scene where in this episode, what do you call this? The scene where um what's her name? His name, Carl. Carl asked or it's not a question, but Carl jested to Vlad that he's not halata, that he is
Yeah,
not,
that.
Oh,
Right.
he
Right.
yun.
doesn't,
Seen.
yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
look,
Yung
Actually, that's
Obvious.
microaggressions.
Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't, that he doesn't look like the conventional, traditional gay that we see in the
Correct.
in
Mhm, mhm,
portrayal of
mhm,
media.
mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, I I'm lost for words at how, like how good that dialogue, that scene is, on how
Mm-hmm.
responsible the dialogue is in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, not all gays like dress the way the media
Yes.
portrays gays to be.
Yep.
I mean,
Mm.
Yep.
I think I don't need to elaborate further what I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
because I, with the nods that I'm seeing in the screen right now, I think that we all
Yeah.
agree with
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
And I
love this
wanna,
Or
episode.
pero ano,
Yeah, me too.
I
Me
pero
too.
wanna
ano,
add. Yes, go ahead, Nico.
super quick lang. Parang yun yung second delighter ko actually. I think Mark made mention of it already. Parang I think it could have been explained because microaggression was like the topic or the area there, right? Parang
Yes.
Yes.
sabi ni
Mm.
Vlad, oh,
Yes.
that's not a compliment because that's microaggression. Parang
Mm.
it stuck to me na parang oh nga no, parang it wasn't really done in a very lectury manner. It wasn't really
Right.
parang forced up down our throat at the end of the day, but it was just
Mm-hmm.
narrated in that situation or in that manner. So it
Mm-hmm.
was really
Mm.
effective. I have to agree with Mark. Yeah. Yes, yun yung isa kong delighter. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and I
Go
just
ahead,
wanted
Mikey.
to sort of like highlight that as well, right? Because I felt that, like you mentioned, it wasn't done in a very lectury kind of way, but it felt like sort of like I wouldn't call it malambing, but it was more like, hey,
Mm.
do you remember our chat on microaggressions? So it was like, oh, they've already had this conversation and
Yeah,
they've already
it's
had
so
an agreement about
cute.
it. So it was more like
Yeah, 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 yeah. It could
reminding
have.
the guy that, hey, we've talked about this already. So, remember? So I like that they were able to do that, right? Because it is one of the things that a lot of het people probably don't get. Maybe because it's not brought to their attention. Because as Filipinos, we're not the type of we don't have the type of culture when we confront people on microaggressions. We just usually brush it
Yes.
off. Especially, for example, if you're a female or maybe you're shy, and we're not
Mm-hmm.
confrontational as a culture, right? So, for example, if somebody says to you, na parang, alam mo, you know what, you don't look gay, or but that's microaggression because basically they're saying that you're not acting that the way you're supposed to be acting. But then, what way should I supposed to be acting? I mean, this is how I act. Don't tell me that I'm supposed to act a particular way when this is who I am, right? So, but as Filipinos, we don't tell that to people because we don't want to be the
Yes.
bitch. We don't want to be the bad
Yeah.
guy. We don't want
Yep.
to be
Yep. Yep.
branded as a nega star, right? And that's why I liked that they addressed that because it's very important for us to remind people that what you say and what you do has an impact on how people view themselves and also has an impact on maybe their emotional well-being or emotional state or maybe even your misconception should be changed because it's wrong. That's it. Right. So actually, a lot of stuff happened in that conversation by the pool. One thing that which Jude also mentioned. Usually, hets ask gays, "Are you gay?" But
Yeah.
then there was another
Yes.
question that was asked to Vlad. Are you straight? No, no. It was asked to Carl. Are you straight?
Straight.
Right.
Carl.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's usually the gays that have to label themselves as gay,
Yeah.
whereas
Mhm.
straights don't
Mhm.
have to label themselves as straight. So that's why there it
Right.
is, Jude. So that's why when that was asked as well, it was like, ah, oh no. I mean, why don't we ask them if you're straight? Why do we ask people only if they're
Mm.
gay or not?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So that could be. I mean,
Correct. Galing.
let's level the playing field. Ganarn.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah,
um,
yeah,
Yeah.
also, it's part of the pool scene, but that kinikilig ako. That part
Yeah.
wherein because I mean you see how these boys love each other but don't say they love each other, because
Hence the song.
Carl
Yeah.
Carl invited Vlad to do a dance because he never got to do a prom
yeah.
dance.
Cute.
You
Ah.
know, I mean, and
Cute.
this was also something that Jude mentioned. Yes, well, I think, well, anyway, we had a conversation earlier, and he's also
Yeah.
mentioned it. During the first part of the dance, it was Carl that was encouraging Vlad and was leading
Mm.
Vlad. But then when the dream sequence
Yes.
happened,
Flip na.
it was
Diba?
Vlad who was leading Carl. So,
Cute.
so it was also sort of like, in Game Boys when they did Crossing the Line. So it was sort of
Yes.
like, it was
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
to that, right? I
Yes.
mean, it was
Yes.
done differently. It was done with a different kind of act, but that was basically what it is. So at first, it was Carl was sort of like reaching out to Vlad, and then sort of like,
Yeah.
"This is me doing this for you," right? But then turn around and then, oh, okay, so all right, so now he's the one who is like sort of like teaching and getting into that world, or pulling him into his world, whatever. So there, I mean, that was really smart, right? And I like that they did it in a gazebo. There were lights. It was very romantic. They were wearing suits. They even had those rose lapel
Rose that.
thingies that we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corsage.
Right?
Corsage ba yun? Charot lang.
Pero
Just
tapos Mikey,
joking.
with the
With
overlap
that.
of the song pa that says that I know that you know, are we really lovers or friends?
Oh my
Yeah!
god!
In
Right?
Tagalog,
Ibang
it's more
songs
poetic,
talaga, no? Grabe.
especially with the phonetical terms na parang alam
Mm-mm.
kong alam mo, magkaibigan o
Mhm.
magkaibigan. So they spelled the same but
Yes!
Yeah.
said differently.
Right, absolutely. So I'm sure that there were a lot more that I'm forgetting right now because I'm
Right.
still trying to absorb it. But
Yeah.
maybe this is the best time to just say hi to Patty. Hi, Patty.
Hi, Patty!
Hi,
Hi,
Welcome!
Patty.
Patty.
Thank you for
And hi,
Hello.
joining
Rafi.
us. Oh, hi, Rafi as well. They shared a daydream together when they danced. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes.
Actually, that's my main delighter for this episode, the dance
Mm-hmm.
scene.
Truly.
Yes,
And
Mm-hmm.
totoo.
sorry, I'm so biased, but I really like Ian, Pau's acting, especially
Uy!
when
Ako
was him
rin!
who, it was him who first encouraged Ian to dance. But talagang yung real name sila ginagamit.
Right.
And then,
And I
and then
mean,
everything just smiling. Probably for him, it's wala lang. But then, afterwards, when they were, parang transitioning to the new sequence na, parang
mm-mm.
the face of Ian, of Pao changed immediately. Like,
Right.
Oo.
wait lang,
And
bakit parang I'm
and
feeling something?
and
because there was something to feel. Because
yes.
Yeah.
subliminally, if you think about it, a dance is always between two people. But then when you have
Yes.
a waltz is a traditional male-female dance because the guy leads and the girl just follows, right? But that's why when they switched, I was like, this is Carl finally sort of like giving rein to Vlad, or
Yes.
submitting
Yeah.
himself to Vlad, or
Yes.
Yes.
opening
Yes.
himself up to
Yes.
Vlad.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I mean, it's not about power. It's really more about acceptance, I think, and it's more
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
like
Being
letting yourself
open.
being open, letting yourself feel the connection between the two of you. So that's why it
Yeah.
was so big because all of those subliminal things were happening in your head.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. I
Yes.
think that was the
Yes,
moment
Mikey.
when Carl finally admitted to himself that he is also vulnerable with what he is feeling,
Mm.
and his vulnerability
Yes.
is actually felt by the audience and more so felt by Vlad. I mean, yeah, like if I have a bummer, siguro in last episode why it was so the last scene why it was cut, but
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
Kaya sabi nung
I'm a
isa
very
kanina, bakit may
yeah
kuryente? Baka nagka-kuryente
Right.
yeah
bigla.
Yes.
Oo nga.
Meralco. Bakit
Wrong
ngayon pa?
timing.
Wrong timing ng Meralco. Patty,
Pero,
sorry. Oh, go ahead.
yan. Pati you first to me.
Ay, ako ba? Okay. So,
Sige, Patty.
I get, same kami ni Ange. Ang main delighter for me also was the dance scene. But I also loved yung narration ni Anna ng backstory niya because it gives
Yes.
us a glimpse of who she is and why she acts the way she
Mm.
acts. And it's also it's very nice to see that the characters in the story are, they're imperfectly perfect, if I may
Mhm.
say. Parang they
Mm.
have their own
Yeah.
imperfections that makes them unique and that makes them belong to
Relatable.
the story.
complement each
Relatable. I
other.
love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love that. And aside from that, well, their acting is really good. Oh, tangin na. Sorry. Sorry.
Oy! Patty, wait lang. Alam mo, okay lang talaga magmura. Tang ina talaga. Sige na. Oh, go, magmura ka.
11:43 na eh.
Yeah,
Okay
channel
na yan.
rebel.
Na vertigo ba
Nararamdaman
kayo, ha? Did you
Oo.
experience vertigo?
Grabe talaga. Oh my
Super
gosh. As in, I was just,
nice.
I was just really smiling from ear to ear the entire episode. Even,
Naman.
well, diba? Even when Anna was
Yeah.
narrating her story, parang ako, oh, okay. Okay. And then,
Mm.
wala. And then, biglang nagkailaw. I was like, the fuck? Wala akong kainin.
Anna,
So,
I
yun.
love Anna
Ayaw, me
super.
too.
Yes.
I love Anna. Ang galing talaga.
Chinamber.
By the
Gusto
way,
ko na,
before...
But
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, before what? You first.
Nico,
ano yan?
you were saying something.
Sabi ko, chinamber. Yun ang gusto ko sabihin.
Remember.
Never, yes.
Uy,
Yes,
gusto ko talaga
that's
ipauso
Chinamber.
yung chinamber na yan. Gamitan ng expression.
Chinamber
ng
ka,
yan.
number.
Mag-chinamber
Let's use
na
that
tayo
sometime.
dito. Ganon.
I think that's what we're doing. We're chinamering this episode.
Yeah!
It
Hashtag
can mean so
chinamber.
many things.
Right. So,
Anna
sorry,
Chinemer.
I just wanted to
Chinamber.
say, in addition to what she said, right before the lights went on, I think it's there was a they were really becoming close. Like they were
Sexually tensive.
Yeah.
yes, and if you notice, there was no awkwardness whatsoever.
No.
The way that they were looking at each other, the way they were coming closer, the way that they were just leaning into it. I mean, you were expecting it to happen, right?
Right.
I mean, as opposed to like maybe other BLs or other scenes like that. I mean, there's like, alam mo yun, parang it's sort of like start stop almost, but for them, it's almost
Right.
like you know that feeling wherein
Yes.
you're not thinking about it; it's just naturally happening. Your body is just doing the movement, right? That's how it appeared to me, and that's why I was
That
even more
makes
like with the
sense.
scene because it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
seem like it was acting anymore. It seemed like they were really, really into it, you know. So, Lance, what were you
Yeah.
gonna say?
Yeah, kasi my biggest tawag nito, my biggest delighter would be this whole episode is pure poetry or sheer poetry for me. From the song to the flow to the choices. If this was a song,
Agree.
siguro the first part is the verse or the first verse. The second part will be the chorus. The last part's gonna be reprise of the first verse. Kasi basically,
Right.
his feeling na sinasabi niya, nung nag-kiss ba sila, parang would they drift apart or would they fall apart? Why did they fall apart? Kumbaga. That was the reference to Ito Mama Tambien. And that was happening to them at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Actually,
reprise,
watch the...
Sorry, Lance,
And then-
sorry for cutting you off. But have you seen Itu Mama Tambien?
Yes,
Like everybody.
yes.
I have.
I haven't
I
seen pa.
Oh, you
So parang-
should see it.
You
I
should see
know.
it.
Marami nagsasabi sa akin eh. Pero there was something about Itu Mama Tambien. Parang just to, for us to have a context. Parang what is it about? Parang what
It's-
what can we... Mhm.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I actually watched in Spanish without subtitles kasi
Yeah.
we had a test during that. So it was a challenge for us. But what I remember from the story was it's a journey between three people, two
Mhm.
guys,
Mhm.
two guys with girlfriends and a girl named Luisa.
Mhm.
And what happened was they met the girl. Parang it was freedom day for them. Well,
Okay.
the girlfriends were away. For them, they went to a party. So they met Luisa, and they invited Luisa to go to Boca de Cielo. Which
Yeah. Right.
during that time, Boca de Cielo was just a figment of their imagination. They just wanted to throw out things to invite Luisa to a road trip.
Oh.
Tapos during that road trip, kaya it felt like a poetry for me then because during that road trip, they were talking about their escapades, which in the story
Right.
in GCP, they were talking about stories of lost romance, of lost hearts, of parang ganun yung theme nila because of the old man holding the heart. This one, they were talking about sexcapades naman in Ito Mama Tambien because the whole movie revolved around sex, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like a coming of age sex story.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the end was yung end niya is what happened to what yung kinakwento ni Vlad na they eventually kissed. The two guys kissed because
Right.
they were taken by the moment because parang during when they found Boca de Cielo, it was real. They were taken by the moment. They were taken lost in the dreamscape
Right.
kumbaga. And ayun,
That's
it
what
happened.
happened to them in the last
Ang galing!
Yes, and that what happened in the last scene.
Oh my gosh, I should watch Ito Mama Tambyan.
Yes.
Ito Mama
And
Tambyan.
and there's a lot more. I mean, it also this series episode also throws me to if you've watched Jane the Virgin, because Jane the Virgin is a TV series naman that's roughly based on Mexican telenovelas and surrealism. So it drew inspiration from Gabriel Garcia Marquez and all the poetry of the different Spanish Latin American
Okay,
series.
okay.
So I felt that same energy as well in
Oh
GCP.
my
This episode on GCP,
gosh.
Yeah.
from the dreamscape to the when you hear his heart parang bursting out. That's para sabi ko, that's a Jane the Virgin. That's Mexican. That's Latin America.
Right.
Those kinds of surrealism and poetry in reading the books. That's what you feel when you read their books and poetry. So I was so excited when I saw.
Yeah.
Because when you hear the melodies also, they're also tied in with the story. So
Right.
especially when yung last part na nasan ka Luna, parang Luna what could be his heart na your heart is crying, I can't find you. Where are you? I can still feel you.
Right. Or maybe it could also be, this is just me thinking out loud as well. It could be that, well, you know that the moon provides light during darkness, right?
Yes.
So maybe he's experiencing some form of mental or emotional darkness because he doesn't know
Yes,
how
yes.
he feels.
Okay,
So he's trying to
okay.
find the light, trying to find some direction, right? So that could be something as well. So alam mo
Mm-hmm.
yun, ang galing.
Yes.
It's just really nice. I'm learning. Okay, good, Risha.
Yes.
Netherlands. Is in the Netherlands, right?
Yes.
So yeah. Oh, Michelle, if you wanna put in your channel in the comments so that the people can check it out.
Yeah, we can
Go ahead,
flash
put
it
it in
out.
there, and we can
Yes,
show it.
please do.
Yeah. And anything else, ladies, guys, delighters?
Also when Anna asked Carl if he was straight, and then he said, "Oh, I think,"
Oh, yung I
Right.
think.
Oh, yeah.
and then
Same.
he was asked if he would like yun na naman sasabihin ko, he would like
Yes.
then
Yeah.
oo naman, bakit
Bakit hindi?
in that scene?
Yeah,
Oh,
and he was relating all the things he loved about Vlad, no? So
Yeah.
kilig.
Super.
correct.
It's a sign. It's really a sign that he was already falling in love. I falling.
Guys, remind me, when Anna asked that question, did Vlad say something, or maybe it's just in my head, did Vlad say something like you don't ask a person his sexuality?
Di parang ano lang,
not
tinapik
really.
lang
Or
niya.
no,
yata.
she
Parang,
was
ano ka ba?
Parang
Parang
tinapik ko eh.
tinapik.
Oo.
Right.
Oo.
Right, okay. Right. So I think
Wait, isa pa.
that's
Yeah, go ahead,
also
Mikey.
showing sensitivity, right? In terms of
Yes.
asking people about their sexual orientation.
True.
Because, like, for example, I mean, in the army, there's a policy: don't ask, don't tell, right? So,
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
if people are
Stick to
willing
that.
to tell you, they will tell you. So,
Mhm.
I mean, don't make them uncomfortable by asking, right?
Correct.
Because, I mean, if they take them as they are, right?
Mhm.
Don't make the things uncomfortable, or don't assume, etc. If they're gonna tell you, they're gonna tell you. If they're not gonna tell you, just just
Yes.
True.
That's basically what it is.
Yes.
Meron pa ako
Sure.
isang scene na super relatable talaga. Yung part na kumakain na sila, and then parang nagtatampo-tampuhan kunwari si Vlad na parang, di wag na, hindi na ako mabait. Tapos andun siya sa sofa, di ba? And then parang, ang cute talaga ni Paolo Pangilinan. Sinabi niya, uy, tara na, kain na tayo. Parang, oh my God!
Parang
Super
magjowa
relatable.
talaga.
I know, di ba?
Yes.
Oh my god. And I
So
like that they did that
believable.
montage wherein they were showing clips of what happened in the
Yes.
past. Which,
Yeah.
di ba,
Yes.
sabi ko,
Yes.
guys, I hope that they did that in the
Their
previous
moment the
episode.
last time.
Correct. To show the passage of time,
Yeah,
Right.
Right. They did it in this episode, and I appreciated that because it gave them
Yeah, it's okay naman
more
pala.
dynamic, di ba? May mga nangyaring ganon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Unlit Mary.
Hey.
Mary.
Mar.
Mar.
I was straight.
Oh, Marl. Okay, sorry. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Ayun. So, when Carl was confessing to Vlad, the way Vlad blushed made
That's so sweet.
super kilig.
Nakakasira ng ulo tong
There's also the
episode na to,
end
ha?
credits also. And in the end credits also made me kilig. Kasi
Yes.
in this end credits, Carl passed the remote to Vlad.
Yeah.
Yes.
He gave the remote na.
Here's
Yes.
the
Tapos
remote.
ginagawa niyang unan si Vlad. I mean, the pillows on
Yeah.
top of Vlad's
Nice,
leg. So parang,
nice.
oh shit.
Adi kayo na magjowa.
Flashback
Ang baklang to.
And the sharing of the blanket. More of the blanket
Yes.
was shared.
Yeah.
You know, oh my
Yes.
God, the progression, you can actually see it.
Super
Um,
kilig.
In the
Grabe
first
talaga.
episode, Ian was just standing behind Carl.
He was far,
Yes,
far away.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. So you can see the progression talaga.
Blanket.
Because
Grabe
they're
talaga.
sharing more things, how it is the remote. Just to go back to the breakfast scene, diba? Parang what I liked there as well was Carl was like totally clueless. Like, hello, this man is showing you that he loves you. Okay, you are like totally not getting it. You know, he cooks you breakfast, he gives you the plate, he gives you the utensils, he gives you water, he gives you tissue, and you're still wondering why.
Correct. Anong chinemer yan, te, ha? Isa kang chinemer. Diyos ko, day.
Right?
Dami arte.
And then when you say something about it, he goes to the couch like Papa Bebe.
Oh, yes.
Right, right. And of course, there's another killing moment wherein, you know, they're doing the laundry and they start throwing
Uy, talaga,
water.
yung paglalaba.
Oh my God.
Ito pa yan.
Playing
Diyos ko, day.
Pero seriously, as an OC person, my initial concern was, are they gonna wash it again? Kasi it's
Oo,
gonna
ako
be
rin.
dirty.
Inisip ko lang sa. Ang
Actually,
hassle.
Hindi at
Tama
first,
naman.
super laundry.
Oo.
But
Ay,
then,
pero
of course,
kayo ba, in reality, would you do that with your partner? Ako honestly, ha? I mean,
No.
cute naman
No.
on screen, pero hindi ko
No.
talaga siya gagawin. Kasi iinit
Ako,
talaga yung
no.
ulo ko. Parang ano ba, maglalaban na
No.
naman ako ulit. Diba?
Exactly.
Yes,
Sayang
yes,
effort.
yes.
Oo.
But you know
Sayang
what?
tubig.
There are
Yes.
people who do
But
that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes,
I have a
we love those
question.
questions.
Can you remember the scene where Carl poured water to
Yes,
Vlad?
I do. I remember that so
Yes.
much.
Yes.
Is that the pinagpigaan or is that
Exactly. Yun yung question ko rin.
That's my thinking as
Good
well. Like,
question.
May sabon ba yun?
Or
Diba?
may-
Pang ilang banlaw na ba yan?
Baka naman
Amoy
pinagbanlawan
down.
na.
Galing ka sa labas yung may coffee.
even if it's been nagbanlaban, it's
Exactly.
still wash water, right? So they would have to take a bath afterwards. So yeah, that's another thing.
Pero alam
But-
mo, alam nyo guys, parang kung in love na kayong ganyan at naglalandian na kayo,
Correct.
hindi mo napapansinin yung pagbabinanlawan ng tubig.
Yes.
Diyos ko, kahit
True.
papunta ka pa
Yes.
sa sapa or sa kanal, Diyos ko, basta andyan yung kalandian mo, kiber. Chinemer.
Tapos pero symbolic din yung scene na yun kasi they remember Vlad always guards his hair. So letting Carl pour the water on his hair.
Oh my God,
Yes!
very
Oh my
true.
God!
Yeah.
All the more nakinilig ako, grabe.
Oh my
Oo.
God, very
Kinilig
true.
ako.
So he literally let his hair down.
Yes. And get wet.
Gusto ko yan.
Eventually,
Gusto ko yan.
getting
Wait
Carl
pa
wet.
doon.
But this time, Carl got him even wetter.
Yes! Ang daming chinemer sa episode na to, ha? Sa chinemeran na yan.
Right. And it's the first time that they spent time together at the pool. Usually, it was only Vlad either talking to Sue, basically, right?
Right.
So now
Yeah.
it's the both of them there, right?
True.
Yes. So there was a lot of really fan service moments, I guess, in this episode, but it didn't feel like fan service. It felt like a
No,
part of the
not
story,
at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Not very
Not at
natural.
all. Not at all.
right? Come
Yeah.
through, yeah, that
Yeah.
part.
And at least they also threw in some that's the moment na that's what I was saying also. I agree with Nolan. What I took from the moment when Carl threw the water on Vlad was Vlad allowed it, and having him do it means you really trust Carl.
Yes.
And
Grabe.
speaking about that here, usually it would be Carl who would be patting Vlad's hair, but this episode there was a moment where it was Vlad that patted Carl's hair,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
So they're reciprocating.
Yes. Well, reciprocated
it's
na.
real.
My God.
Basang-basa sa ulan.
Uy,
True.
napakanta siya doon. Napakanta siya doon. At dahil kumanta ka, Lance, ilalagay kita sa gitna. O, kumanta ka na.
Yeah.
Go!
Ayaw ko na.
Wait, ibaba mo ako, itaas mo si Patty.
Sige. Oo, pa.
Yan.
Oh,
Oh,
yan.
Okay. We will be free.
Wait,
Great.
pero Mikey, I have to agree with what you said at the beginning of this session natin, no? When you said that it was kind of like short and bitin ba? Kasi parang I want
Mm,
more. Parang please
wanted
let
more.
me know more. Parang yun lang. Gusto ko
Pero I'm
mag-extend pa sana
scared
siya.
then. Kasi the next
Bakit?
coming scenes will be that part na would you see what did they just accuse you of a crime? That's coming soon.
Ah,
Right.
Correct.
So
ayun na.
next,
But yeah, that's coming. But let's savor this moment.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
True,
We have
true,
1 week to
Oh,
savor this moment.
I just
true.
remembered something, by the way, guys. So, before it was Vlad that was shirtless, and this episode it was Carl that was
oh
shirtless.
my God,
Yeah. Oy,
Yes.
oh
My
my God,
God.
how
ato,
can I
mama.
forget? How
Ito
can I forget?
may
At may
question ako
konting
sa
tadapa pa
lahat.
si Vlad.
Correct. May question ako sa lahat. Okay, sinong preferred nyong topless? Si Vlad or si Carl? Go!
Pareho.
Vlad.
Carl.
Vlad.
Pareho.
Oh,
Vlad.
both.
Both?
Vlad.
Ako Vlad.
Both.
Ako.
Ako, Carl.
Bias ako kay Carl
Torn ako.
eh.
Carl ako. Carl ako.
Ako
Ako
Vlad.
din, bias ako kay Carl.
Ako Vlad
Oh
kasi
my
gusto ko yung medyo may laman.
Ah,
I
okay.
yung
Pareho
medyo
kami.
kind of meteor.
Yes, may
Same
chinemer.
Meteor.
Yes,
Never.
mas masayang H&M'er.
Yes. Right.
Ako,
And
Carl.
also, again with the scene with the shirtless scene, again it didn't feel gratuitous at all.
Yes, 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 yes.
And
Yeah.
it was actually a device because when he stepped out of the shower, the look on Vlad's face, and when Anna walked
That
in,
was
he was like, "Sir,
I love that
Which-
scene.
Grabe si Ana,
Vlad was-
no?
which
Vlad was
got
also
Vlad
thirsty over
jealous.
her.
Yes.
Got Vlad jealous
yes.
because he
Ang
was like,
cute.
if they're bros, it doesn't matter, right? But he was jealous because he said, "Put a shirt on, come on," and he was blocking Anna's view. Right?
Yeah.
But before,
Tapos
before Anna Kimi was thirsting over over Carl. The look
Yeah.
on his face, diba?
Ayan, thank you for calling. How can I help
Thank you
you?
for calling.
Hello.
Thank you for calling
Again.
Blaha Squad. Thank you.
Yes,
Hola, buenos
appreciate
dias.
it.
Yes.
How can we help you today?
O, di ba? May customer service na yung BBS. Eh.
Correct. And I think Rochelle mentioned Vlad was almost falling over. I think when he was trying to cover Carl, I think he put his
No,
hand on the chair but then slipped. Is that right?
Yep.
No, when he came up
Yes.
from the bathroom, actually.
Okay.
Kasi parang he was, when he turned around, so he was mesmerized and he slipped a little.
He was
Both-
taken aback, literally.
Yes. Literally.
Literally,
Literally.
right. Both next to me. Nola, we being out of pocket. But hey,
We accept
Sure.
that.
jealous lad. Yes,
Oh,
jealous
yes.
lad is really adorable.
Yeah.
So adorable.
And Anna was playing with that like hell, like parang protective much.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jowa.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna take him away from you.
I like the term that she used. It's the first time that I heard it. Yung, uy, grabe makabakod, bakod. She was saying
yes,
something about
yes.
bakod. eh, no?
Yes.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah, the fencing is real.
Right.
And actually, what
The
I
fence.
love about Anna, ang dami niyang gay lingo colloquialisms she's been using. So
Yeah.
that color, that flavor, I love so much.
Me too.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Right? So Nolan says you've reached the first
First
hotline
hotline.
after you service.
There's ours.
Yeah, we are thirsty in this panel at this point because of this episode. Yes. Drink your water, bitch.
Yeah, Christine. C-Rex, where's your water?
Yes,
Nice.
hydration nation. Call it.
Yeah.
Drink your water.
Good. So anything that was a satisfier maybe for you guys?
Ala, to me sa, delight
This is so difficult.
first off.
Their conversations are really relatable, especially when they were discussing about high school life. Those are
I agree.
things, but it's super relatable.
Right.
Super
Yeah,
relatable,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, and I also like that it's still through in the Pelikula references, like si Denton and Ingrid from the Ghost Stories. As a throwback
Yeah.
to Bosway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it Feng Shui, the storytelling, the horror storytelling?
Yes.
Was it
I
about
think
that?
part of it was from Feng Shui. When she mentioned Denton and Ingrid, parang, oh, Feng Shui na talaga to. Then she started to scream. So, okay, that's Feng Shui.
Okay,
I,
got it.
I think they also reference from Sarah and John Lloyd's movie, the
Which
when
one?
he made a cup of coffee to
Yung
Carl.
sabay sila. Ayan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
speaking of which, the cup of coffee was given by Vlad, and it had a note. Is there a movie reference there?
Yes, there
Yeah,
is. There
that
is. Kay
one.
Sarah
That
Heron.
one.
Kay
Sarah
Sarah
John
Heron
Lloyd.
mo.
Sabi niya.
Yeah, that one. Sarah John Lloyd. Yeah.
Which one
Okay,
was
cool.
it?
I
Well,
forgot that.
Ang cute
Is
mo,
it You Changed
grabe.
My Life?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
You changed
oh,
my life.
Yeah.
I think somebody Anna mentioned Tony G. I think that was in
Oo
the
nga.
series, right?
Oo. Yes.
Yeah, that
I
one
don't
I
know what
didn't
it
get
was.
that part.
Ano
Okay, I'm
yun?
gonna have to watch it back. But I remember
Oo.
saying Tony G lang, ganon. Parang,
You know
Yeah,
the
I have to
answer of
remember.
it.
Parang I have to look for that reference too.
if anybody in the chat remembers the Tony G mention,
Ay, medyo na-lost
put
ako
it in
doon.
there.
Pero Kebs lang.
Because
Pero
I don't know
baka,
the movie. Yeah,
right. Mm-mm.
I was lost too. Yeah. So also ghost stories are a very common thing that we do during brownout. Oh, by the way, let's talk about the brownout. So brownouts
Yeah.
happen in
Yes.
the Philippines.
Yeah. And
Sadly,
incidentally, it happened yesterday for me. So I
Talaga?
could relate so
oh,
much.
sorry to
O
hear that.
kaya pala eh.
So I like that they're using narratives as well that are very relatable. You know, the
Yeah.
brownouts, and then
And take note, it's
um,
scheduled brownouts. So
correct.
they're informed when it will be brownout, kumbaga.
Except sometimes the notification comes right before or during the
Yep.
brownout, which happened
During the
Yep.
in this
brownout.
Yep.
episode as well. Like,
Like a few
now?
seconds before.
Correct. Diba? Sino nawala? Ange. Oh, but she's
And
in
And,
the she's in the middle
in,
with us.
Yeah. I think who's answering the
Here.
call, maybe?
Here.
yes, baka sumasagot ang hotline natin. Ang dami na nag
Yeah.
The thirst
inquire.
hotline.
Correct.
Yeah. The thirst hotline.
Call her line. And UST was referenced because yes, UST is one of the oldest, if not the oldest university in the
Mm-mm.
Philippines, right?
Yes.
yes.
And I
Yes.
think there was also a reference to I don't know, medical students, which USC is also a huge I don't know, like a source for medical students,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They even have their own hospital over there, so just
Hence
let
the cadaver, chinemer.
correct
Uy, sorry.
national audience
Yes.
know,
Di pa rin ako makaget
right?
over sa chinemer, promise. I swear, talagang gagamitin ko siya. Chinemer.
Oh,
Remember.
unlit Marl says, Loki, I was expecting a dead body when Vlad opened the cabinet and used his cell phone to let it up.
Medyo. Like,
Yeah, me too. I was.
Yes, right. And I think that they were effective in that way because for us to think those things, that means the setup was effective, right?
right,
Because we were
right.
envisioning, we were forward thinking now, right? Oh, what's gonna happen, etc. and so forth. Right. So there.
Uy,
So
pero ano, just to add to Guru Mikey, parang I think overall, parang we've been talking about this episode as some sort of a literary masterpiece, like everything is like put together, like a literary masterpiece.
uh-uh.
Ayan, lumipad na yung thoughts ko. Sige, later na lang. Tandaan ko muna. Nawala na siya. Okay, go ahead,
Right.
Mikey.
That's okay. That's okay.
I have a question
Yes.
though.
Yes.
Kasi Anna, I'm going back to the reference of Anna asking that question. Were you guys asked the same question before about your preferences? And how did you take it?
Oh, I haven't been
Preferences.
asked. I haven't been asked. Um, and well, usually it's it's me just telling them, but of course it's a select few,
Oh,
and
okay.
for others, I just
Mhm.
naturally just like behave the way that I need to in certain
Mhm,
situations,
mhm.
especially when around conservative
Typical
family
Right.
Filipino.
members. Right, right. I just become a little more conscious of what I say and what I do.
Yeah.
Right, but with close friends and with those that I've told and with those then I am who I am. Right, but I've never actually been asked. Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, no, not that specific question, but the other questions wherein
Yeah,
you have a
that.
GF, are you gonna get
Yeah.
married? When are you gonna have kids? I handle those by
Yes.
just making a joke out of it because humor always works for me. right? Like,
Yes.
oh, I can't even take, like, for example, oh, I can't even take care of myself. I can take care of another human being, or I'm too
I
busy with
know.
work. Like, I'm not set
I
up
feel
yet.
you.
So I mean, that's not on my mind. You know, I have other priorities. I have dreams that I want to fulfill first before, you know. But if it comes, it comes. I mean, that's usually how I handle those situations. Yeah. How about
Yeah, I
you
relate.
guys?
Hmm.
Parang sa akin, that's the same thing. I use the same thing na I'm usually saying to people. Na we have a term, igrot or Ilocano, saying na, no, I'll be forever a baak. Baak means like you're an old single man.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's what I tell the people. I just keep traveling the world and be a back for that case. When they ask that question, so
Mm.
I stay. Parang I'm like a soldier as well. Na, don't ask, don't tell. If they ask you have a girlfriend, I say no. If they ask if you're in a
Mhm.
relationship, I say yes. If they ask
Mhm.
are you gonna get married, no. Not in this
Uh-uh.
country, maybe. Something like that. So I
Yeah,
just try to
off-tangent
stay
answers.
as yes, very simple answers. Unless it's really relevant to the
Hmm.
person, I might tell that. But I think I shared in the
Mhm.
group chat that I was asked by a Dutch office mate of mine, straightforward, same question, same answer. I mean, same attack of a question because he was very straightforward. He's from Europe. Because
Mm.
using Mark's words, he said to me before that I couldn't put the finger on you.
Ah.
So he asked me, oh, what's your preference? So during that time, I couldn't figure it out. So he asked me,
Mhm.
if you had your ideal girl and ideal guy walking side by side, where would you look at first?
Oh.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I answered, then let's answer another one. We're going kalat this way. The question is a bit kalat or a bit out of the pocket.
Yeah, go ahead.
So which one would you fuck or we fucked by? The girl or the guy? So he
Sorry, what?
explained, like,
Uh-huh.
who would you be fucked or fucked by?
Okay.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
who would you make love with, kumbaga? And
Mhm.
Okay.
then I answered. So he said, then he explained to me, the first one would be you're romantically attracted to, and the second one would be you're sexually attracted to. So those
Mm.
are the two things.
Oh.
It could mean different for you, or it could be the
Okay.
same.
Okay.
For mine,
Right.
it completely matched. So there.
Right. 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 Right.
Right. Just
So that's how
like
I explained it.
sexual orientation and gender expression are totally different
Yes.
things, but then
Mm-mm.
people
Yes.
assume that it's
Yes.
the same, right?
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
sexual orientation is basically who you are inside, but then your gender expression is how do you present yourself to the world. So, for example, if you dress as a man, or if you dress as a woman, or you know, other things like that. Yeah. Well, how about you guys? I mean, Nico,
Ako naman, but
Mark.
I think it was my coming out day. It was first freshman year in college. I think Nolan also made mention of like the university, no? And like itong seatmate ko, ano siya self determined lesbian no? And she asked,
Okay.
parang, are you gay? Ganun lang. And I said, parang, alam mo naman sa Pilipino, no? Parang ang typical spiel ko at that time was, well, I'm kind of like soft because I'm a mama's boy. I'm really closer to my mom. So that's usually like my spiel to everybody. And then it took me
Mm.
like about 3 weeks to think it through before I came out to her. She was the first person I came out to, no. And I said, parang, yeah, I have a question to your answer. It's like my most honest answer this time. It's a yes, I'm gay. And ever since then, parang ayun na. Ganun lang kasimple, parang nothing too complicated because I made that decision for myself. And I think Mikey, you made mention of gender expression and sexuality. Parang at the time I was able to determine who I really was already. So parang wala na masyadong complication na parang I'm gay. Parang why complicate things anyway? So I said
Yeah.
yes. Ganun lang kasimple. Yeah.
Yeah, sa akin, parang I
Mm.
resolved that also by answering later on. After that conversation with a Dutch colleague, when they ask me that question, I just tell them that I just happen to be a guy who fell for a guy. That's it.
Mm, that makes
Plain and
sense.
simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. How about for Mark?
Well, I don't really have a coming out story, whether to friends, to family, or to the public in general. It's
Mm-hmm.
always because I've always people always tell me that I am flamboyant, that I am soft, that I am
Okay.
they call this mahinhin at hindi makabasag pinggan. That's what they always tell me, and also see myself as that. I mean,
Right.
I see to it that everything is properly placed, neat and proper, and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
although it's kind of backwardish, but
Mhm.
for me, at least for me, it translates proportionately. I mean, whether I am neat and proper, is that the assumption is always that I'm gay. Well,
Right,
sorry
right.
to break it to
Yeah.
you, but I am. So it's just aligned properly that
Yeah,
Yeah.
that ju- that I am the neat and proper kind of gay. That's like it goes along with how gays are proper, or how gays are usually seen. But I don't
right.
really have a coming out story because
Mm,
I've always been like this since I was a kid. So I
right,
I think, yeah, my family didn't even ask me if are you gay, or like, do you have something to tell us? Do you have something to share to us? Do you have
right,
someone
right, right.
to to bring to the house and um ipakilala sa amin or something? It's not, we I don't have that story. So I think it also worked for me that I didn't have that story, because I kind of avoided that awkward
Right,
moment
right.
where what should I answer, especially
Exactly.
to my
Mhm,
family.
mhm.
But
Mm.
for now, since I didn't have a coming out story, that I did it piece by piece. Like siguro
Yep.
parang tinitimpla ko yung moment. If
Mhm, mhm.
parang I feel that they are accepting, so I would
Correct.
just some interjections ng konti-konti. But now, yeah, they know naman na. So
Perfect.
I just didn't have that coming out story. But for
Cool,
friends,
cool, cool, cool.
it's kind of a different story for my friends in college.
Mm,
Um,
Mm.
Yeah.
well in high school, coming from a Catholic school like Vlad and Carl,
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's
coming from a
another
Catholic
thing.
school,
Yes,
yeah, they
Yes.
always,
another thing.
friend, they had this question. Some of my classmates had this question that, um so ano ka, like, baliko ka ba? And I hate
Oh my
hate that
God,
question.
Yes.
It's parang,
euphemism. Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I know we're in a Catholic school and the teachings are kind of conservative, but you don't
Mm.
ask that question to someone.
right, right.
um I wasn't asked if I am gay directly, but if indirectly, yeah, I guess so. But what I always tell them is that being gay doesn't define who I am. If you
Yes.
want to define me by my grades, so be it. By all means,
Yeah,
define me by
yeah.
my grades. If you want to define me by how well I do things, or
Mhm.
or lack thereof, if I am
Mhm.
dumb but doing things, then by all means define me by it. But don't define me by my sexuality, because it's
Exactly.
not
Mhm.
cool.
Right.
But for,
Right.
yeah, well, in college, people assume that I'm straight. I
Mhm.
don't know
Mm-hmm.
why. I mean, they always tell me that, baka straight siya. He's just the mama's boy type. He's just the, what do you call this? He's just the
Prim and
malinis na
proper.
kind of,
Mhm,
yeah, prim and
mhm,
proper
mhm,
and all that.
mhm, mhm.
But when I told them that, yeah, I'm meeting my boyfriend later. So they were all taken aback, like, oh, so you're gay? It's like, ha, hindi ba
Mm.
halata? So that's a turning point for me in my life. I still carry that feeling until now, where I don't need to come out to people. I said, if you
Right.
ask me, then I'll tell you. But
Yes.
if
Yeah.
you
Mhm,
don't
mhm,
ask me, I'll not fake it in front of you. If we're friends and you didn't ask me if I'm gay, and then I'll meet my boyfriend later, and then you ask me where I'm going, and then I'll tell you that I'll meet my boyfriend later.
right.
I don't make it a big deal right now, especially now in this generation,
Yeah.
in this time. It's
Right,
like,
right, right.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But also, yeah, just typical Filipino. There are some questions that I try to avoid as much as possible, especially in the family.
Oh
True.
yes.
Yeah, especially when, for example, there are birthday parties at home, and then your mom's or dad's friends
Awkward,
would ask
no?
you, like, do you have a girlfriend? And I always tell them, no, I don't. And then and them being the Filipinos who are also shy, typically shy, and they won't ask me now that you have a boyfriend, because they're not as confrontational. But I
Mhm,
Yeah.
think they get it
mhm,
already. So,
Yeah.
but it's just that I try as much as possible. I try to avoid, if hindi ko close yung tao, because I think I
Mhm.
don't need to be an open book to everyone. I mean, I'll be an open
right.
Yes.
book if I
Yes.
want to,
Yes.
It's your choice.
but
Yes.
Yeah.
if I don't want to, then don't ask me.
Right,
Yes.
right, right, right. Oy, although buti na-mention ni Mark yung pag tinatanong sa mga occasions in the family, no, na do you have a girlfriend, ganyan. Ako naman, worse. Parang, kailan ka magkakaroon ng anak with the best friend? Parang, yung totoo ako, hindi, I'm not a lesbian. Sinasabi ko talagang ganon. Pero yun nga parang, itama si Mark parang sometimes, I often avoid situations such as that, na I get to be asked these questions, no, na parang awkward na yung moment tuloy, parang I end up like getting stressed and anxious, or, di ba? So parang I
Mhm.
sometimes like avoid some like certain family occasions just to avoid these questions kasi oftentimes they will ask you parang, uy, may girlfriend ka na ba, ganyan. Bakit girlfriend, di ba? Mukha ba akong maton, charot. Ayun.
Lord. O si Patty naman,
Oh,
natanong ka na
Patty,
ba?
natanong ka na ba? Or
Mga
did you ask
advice
someone? Did you
questions
ask
ba
Natanong na
tayo?
rin ako.
Were you an Anna
Natanong,
also?
wala naman akong anak na ginawa ng prom kasi wala kaming prom nung high school. Catholic school. I came from an exclusive Catholic school back in high school. So that was
Okay.
I was in an exclusive Catholic school for 11 years and another 4 years in another Catholic university. So grabe, 'di ba? So anyway, so that aside, if I was asked the question, oo, natanong na rin ako. Ang sagot ko naman sa kanila, paano ba? Hindi ko sinasagot actually yung tanong because why should you care about it, 'di ba? Parang
Right.
kung
Yes.
Right.
meron man akong alam mo 'yun, 'di ba? Parang kung meron man ako na meron man akong dalhin, meron man akong ipakilala, then okay, fine. But if wala, edi wala. Now, the other questions, which is usually asked, parang ako, I take it as a joke. Parang ako, busy ako
Ah,
I'm a
right.
strong, independent woman.
Yeah.
Ganon.
Building your
Yes.
empire.
Diba?
Yes.
I'm very busy with my career.
Of
Ganon. Kasi
course.
parang, it should not define who I am, whatever it is,
Yes.
diba?
Yes.
Diba? That's just me.
Correct.
That's just me. But, yun. Yeah, simple as that.
Thank you. Ange, ikaw naman, pakigalaw ng
Ange,
baso.
Wala daw, pinalayas daw siya.
natatawa
Ange,
ako.
comment.
Nasa gitna talaga siya.
Yeah,
Gaya.
Mag-hi tayo,
According
Mikey.
to...
Hi, Ange. Mag-hi tayo, Mikey. Ayan.
Wala.
Hi,
Wala.
Appear. High five. Appear.
Funny,
Kay Maya
funny.
din, kay Maya, kay Maya.
Ay, Maya, sa kabila. Sa kabila. Ay, ayun.
Sa kabila. Ay,
Maya.
Maya.
Ayan.
So,
according to Ange, nalayas daw siya kasi maingay daw siya masyado sa sala.
oh my
True,
I'm
true,
sure
true.
Cherry and you got booted out.
Ayun, naalala ko na yung gusto kong sabihin.
Ayan
Ayan.
na,
Kasi
go.
I think you guys were talking about Gaya sa Pelikula, like the series, and even this episode as a literary masterpiece, sort of, right? Parang maganda yung pasok nung music, it's lyrical, so on and so forth. But remember that interview with Juan Miguel Severo, na parang he said that this is a passion project for them, right?
Right.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is, I think ayun, nawala si Patty. Ayan, ipasok ulit natin. Ayan. So I guess the reason that we're discussing it in a very positive manner and we're so praising this episode is because the passion really is coming through. Parang it's not just the
Yes.
typical BL series na parang out of commercial consumption or production lang. Na parang, alam mo, napilitan lang. They just take these different tropes just for the sake of producing like a Pinoy BL series. But GSP or Gaya sa Pelikula, you can really sense the passion work that they put into it at the end of the day. So we're discussing these things at the end. So ako, yun lang gusto ko sabihin. Bye-bye.
And to add to that, it's like for me, if you've seen Juan Miguel Severo's spoken prose, this whole series feels like you're watching his old spoken prose over again. It has the same empathic feeling, but it's parang represented or redone in a series or in a TV medium, parang ganon.
Right.
Especially the batuhan ng linya, the flow of how it goes. It's the way he says a spoken prose.
Right. By the way, since you guys mentioned earlier about Catholic schools, I remember that scene when they were talking about that, and Carl asked Vlad, "Why didn't you go to prom?" Or
that.
well, he mentioned. Well, it was mentioned that prom didn't happen, But then
Mhm.
Vlad said something like, "Well, it's not as if I can take the person that I want to take,
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
right?"
correct.
So I mean, I
yes.
like that. I like that they mentioned that because again, it gives another dimension to Vlad, meaning that I mean, if he's not going to be able to take someone that he likes, really likes to prom, then what's the point? You
Why
know,
Right.
bother going?
like, why bother? I mean, it's looking back at it. When I was younger, I mean, it was something that I wasn't even interested in going because I thought it was
Mm.
just because I was feeling how Vlad was feeling. I was like, why do
Okay.
I need why do I need to
Mm.
ask a girl? I mean, I don't even like her, and we're just gonna go
Yeah.
I know
there
the
and just
feeling.
and
Right,
just
Yes.
right.
I don't know why are we dancing anyways? Like what is this supposed to signify? I mean, is it gonna be like
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Natawa
I
ko sa
mean,
Yep.
question mo.
no, seriously, I
Yes.
was thinking those questions like,
Ako rin.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
number one, it's required. It's required that you go.
Yes.
Number two, you're
Mhm.
gonna spend for it. And hell, it's not like we had a lot of money back then. I mean, not even now.
Mm-hmm.
Totoo.
But then you're gonna have
Totoo.
to spend for something that I don't know, like you don't even know it really is for. I mean, if you're talking about like junior and senior relations, we already know each other because we're always working together on
Para
extracurricular
saan pa?
activities.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, diba, parang, anyways. So yeah, and looking, I mean, now from my point of view, now, I mean, I am hoping that people are more. I mean, not just people, but society is more accepting of the LGBTQIA plus community, right?
Mhm,
Such
mhm,
that if they
mhm.
wanted to bring someone that they like to prom, it shouldn't be an
Mm-hmm.
issue, right?
Right.
But
Yes.
right, even at the moment, even
Yes.
non-Catholic schools, let's just say it, even non-Catholic
Mhm,
schools,
mhm,
prom is
mhm.
prom, and it's always going to be a man and a woman. So I'm
Right,
hoping
right.
that and I like that they addressed that in a little. I mean, not addressed, but they mentioned it in this episode because it is one of the things that we are fighting for, right? I mean, we're not just fighting for equality
Yes.
with terms of the legalities, civil unions, and we have a whole other issue about that. But
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
also about
Mm-hmm.
the simple things like taking people to events
Yes.
that are
Yeah.
like that should be for everyone regardless of
Yes.
gender, sexual
Yeah.
orientation, and identity,
Right.
right?
Mhm, mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we can't do that right now because if, for example, a boy brought another boy, they would be stopped at the gate. They wouldn't even,
Yes.
diba? So parang
True.
hoping that
Yes.
sometime soon in this lifetime, that we don't even question that anymore. Like it's natural. Like it's a common sight. So hopefully, right? I mean, it happens. So that's why I also like, by the way. Oh no, sorry, it's a different show, but
Hot
I
show.
like
Halo-halo na.
no, no, no.
So the
I was gonna mention Soji and Consultant, but it's Pro Next
uh,
Door. I saw it in the credits of
uh,
Pro Next Door. So
yes,
I'm
yes,
not.
okay,
yes.
okay.
So I don't know if they have a Soji Consultant in Guys sa
Mm,
Pelikula, but I
mm.
know that the creators are activists, right?
Yes.
Right, right,
And there's
right.
They
Soji
are
activists too.
proponents of the Soji. So I mean,
Mhm,
there is
mhm.
that. So that's why this is a very politically correct uh,
Yes.
series because of their background.
Right, 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 right.
Yes. And may I just add to that? I remembered when JM Severo was looking for those people who will be working in production and also who will act as Carl and Vlad for GSP.
Mm,
He really wanted a good representation of the
mhm,
community in the
mm,
series. So I
mm.
think that really is something that really matters and something that
Right.
most people really appreciated.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sana all
And
Nolan, no? Sana all.
Sana
sana
all
all.
Nolan. Lucky
Well,
you.
Philippines, we have a little. It's a little bit different for us.
Yeah. It's
But
either our schools are run by
happy for
priests or
you,
nuns.
right?
Totoo,
A
Yes.
lot of our
totoo,
Catholic
totoo.
schools
Yes.
are
Uy,
run
by
by
the way, di ba may reference ng Universidad of Pontifical University ng Philippines? Doon graduate si Patty. Di ba, Patty?
Yes, yes, doon ako
Yeah.
galing.
Hey,
Wow.
congratulations,
School
alma
represent.
mater.
Oo,
Great.
Tiger.
Oh, and random question, but I just want to throw it out there. What is
Yep.
your prom story? Since
Oh,
I kind of
Uunahan ko na
mentioned
Go.
kayo.
mine, I'll
go.
go.
Wala
Go.
kaming
Patty.
prom.
Why?
Bakit?
Why? Did someone get
11
pregnant?
years, well, no.
Previous batch got pregnant, the whole lot.
No. Paano ba?
Kabash pala siya
We
si
didn't
Vlad.
have
Diyos
prom.
ko.
We didn't have prom back in high school. As I've mentioned
Ah,
earlier, I came from an all-girls Catholic school.
Okay.
Mahigpit ang mga madre, ayaw ng prom. But instead, we
ah,
had annual high school dance. And then on
Mm.
our last year, we had the seniors night. The funny thing about our seniors night was we were with our parents back then. Sila
that
yung
was
Wow.
fun.
grabe talaga.
Fun.
Oo. Hindi ko na lang i-mention kung saan ako school galing,
Oh,
but yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
That's fun.
literally seniors night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh my God,
Literally
Mark.
senior siya.
Yes, with the quickest
Ay,
work.
Yes.
I
Diyos
love it.
ko.
Sa
Ang dami
chance
kong
sabihin ko kung saan
sabaw.
school ako nang galing. Pero yun. Yeah,
So how
so
about
wala akong prom story.
oh,
Oh.
well, that's still kind of like a prom story because it's related.
Oo.
The lack of a prom story. How about you
Yeah.
guys? Did you
Yeah,
go?
I did go. I took one of my best friends na babae as the prom date out of grades because it was either
Yes,
do a
yes.
freaking
Yes.
30-page report or go to prom.
Serious? Oh my gosh.
Diba? It's basically
Talaga?
required, talaga.
Yeah, and the report was about, I think it was gender oppressions,
O,
women's
dapat yun na
suffrage.
ginawa mo.
Wow.
Joke lang.
But it was 30 pages. You have to do it 30
Okay.
pages times New
Oo
Roman.
naman.
Phase
Dissertation.
1, 11.
Dissertation.
Font 11.
Diyos ko,
I remember it
girl.
so
You
much.
just make a spacing loose so that it's yung kerning, i-ano mo.
So parang I took one of my good friends na babae. I asked her, when I go to prom, because we have to either do that or go to prom. And she agreed because we were both academically inclined. So sabi niya, I don't want to write the freaking paper. Let's go.
Good job.
Although what happened was during the prom scene, we just ate and drank, basically. We didn't
Yeah.
participate in the dancing. We just
Mhm.
loved the buffet and drank. That's it.
Right, right.
Mm,
Wait, question.
right,
Ano,
right.
ano tawag dun sa traditional dance?
Cotillion.
Cotillion.
Cotillion. Oh,
Ay,
cotillion.
We had
Nakakairita.
that too.
Cotillion.
Buisit na cotillion
Yeah.
yan. Dapat
I mean,
babae
there
yung partner mo. Kainis.
Mhm.
Gusto ko sampalin yung girl. Charot lang.
I was thinking of Rigodon. What is Rigodon?
Rigod
Is it
doon.
a thing?
Is that a word?
Rigodon is
Sort of like you
Ikot,
hunker
diba?
down, you hold your
Rumirigodon
ground.
ka.
Parang, oo. I think.
Rigodon is
I-
also dance.
Correct.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's also
Tapos
a
you
dance.
change partners, parang ganon, paikot.
Ay, paikot siya. Kaya siya rigodon.
Yes, yung paikot. That's
Correct.
rigodon.
Ah.
Parang you switch partners.
Oh.
Yes,
Ganon.
you switch
Romeo and
partners.
Juliet, gan.
Right. Shakespeare in
And
love.
parang yung sa mga Shakespeare in love ng mga medieval na umiikot-ikot ng
Yeah.
Yes.
Rigudon pala
Parang
yun.
ganon siya.
Yes, ganun.
Pero my God, yung expression na alam ko sa rigodon is, ayan, rumirigodon na naman yung puwet mo dyan. Alam ko.
Talaga?
Umiikot-ikot
Umiikot ang
lang.
Umiikot siguro, oo. Kasi,
Ikot ang puwet mo.
oo.
So rounds. Romerica
Yeah.
yeah.
Rigodon is
Pwede rin.
eh,
Interesting. Wait, so Ange says, during
Ayan.
my prom, the dance floor was surrounded by sisters.
Same.
Bantay
Wow.
sarado.
oh my God.
Oo,
Right.
grabe.
So bantay sarado is like they're really keeping a really close watch on you. Right.
Right,
Bakod
right.
kung
Social
bakod.
distancing. Correct. Oh, okay, Rochelle. Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah.
Bon appetit.
Thank
Bon
Nice
you.
to see you. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, well.
Yeah.
May sinasabi si
Darren
Darren
also
eh.
has a comment.
Ano daw? We're now having a constructive argument about what was the situation before versus the situation now for being gay children.
Right,
Oh,
right.
Yep.
Wow, it's a good drinking conversation. Wow.
Yeah.
It is.
Naku,
It is.
makapunta nga dyan. Saan ba kayo, Darren? Ito na.
Quezon City,
mag-grab na.
malapit sa
Oh
SM
yeah,
North.
it's Friday night.
Ito na. Mag-grab na ako. O, dito na kayo ha. Alis na ako.
Right.
Bye. Joke lang.
Joke
Wow.
lang. Oo
Ayan,
nga.
sabi ni Darren, to me, if I'm out, I earn it. I fought for it, and I'm harvesting what the predecessors and my generation
The
fought for.
riots.
Yeah,
Right.
Stonewall, silang, who else?
Exactly.
Castro.
Oy, by the way, gusto ko lang i-segue to. I think Glash made mention of Stonewall. The reason pala na ganyan yung skin natin or background, it's wall. Because we're going
Right.
back or
Yes.
we're being retroactive of the Stonewall incidents eh. And kaya
Wow.
tayo ang parang naka-paint dyan because we are painting our narratives now. We are
And we
owning
are
our
the
narratives
rainbow.
this time.
Perfect.
Yes, we are the rainbow.
Correct.
Everybody is the rainbow. So may meaning talaga yung
Yeah.
wall-wall na yan. Sa like, akala nyo intramuros lang yan. Hindi talaga. Story wall talaga yan.
Hindi kapag intramuros yan, that's gonna be the walls of Silang, of Gabriela Silang during the Ilocos period.
Pwede.
O, di ba?
Pwede.
Pwede.
Never segue natin yun.
Ayan. How about you, Mark?
So, Nico.
May proud story ka ba?
Oh,
Or
okay.
ikaw, Nix?
Ako, parang awkward kasi nung high school. I was trying to like evade questions and I was trying to evade yung mga awkward moments wherein, ayan, my partner kang babae, ganyan. Usually kasi in groups kami. So, yeah, I went there with like best friends, like grupo kami. Kasi wala din silang dates eh. They usually may ganong setup din diba in high school na parang you're not really obliged. In some
Yes.
schools, you're not obliged to have a partner. So parang,
Yes,
magkasama na lang tayo, mag-taxi na lang tayo papunta doon, ganyan. Okay, magkasama kami, 3, 4, ganyan. So hindi ganun ko awkward. So walang masyadong special incident for me. Although yung kotilyon talaga, although ka-close ko naman yung ka-partner ko noon, pero parang ano ba to? Hindi ko feel kotilyon. 'Di ba? Parang ba't kailangan merlat or babae yung partner? Pwede mag-solo na lang ako dito, gano'n. But super na-anxious ako sa mga moments na gano'n, na parang, tama, I think it was Mike who mentioned a while ago, na parang, is it really necessary? Ay, parang wala naman siyang katuturan para sa akin. Hindi naman I'm not becoming a better person after I dance in the prom. Diba? Parang,
Yep.
yun.
And then even in college, like why is like ballroom
one?
dancing? Yeah, PE. It was physical education.
Yun! Isa pa yan.
Ballroom dancing. I didn't understand it. How is this physical education? Why? Like
Social dancing, diba?
social distance
Oo nga.
dancing.
Social distancing.
Distancing.
This dancing, my God.
This dancing.
And since we're Tandeda, so it was a girls'
Ay,
room
oh,
since
yes.
that came over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
My sister had that neon guys going over Miriam, so I know that.
Yes.
Anyone else want to share the prom
Si Mark,
story?
may prom
Si
ano
Mark.
yan. Anong chinever mo sa
Yeah.
prom mo?
That's a funny thing. In back in our prom, actually, di ba usually people get if people get to do proms, they usually have 2 proms, like one for when they're a junior, and then
When
the
they were
other for
juniors.
when they're
Yes.
the senior.
Yes.
Correct.
For us,
Yes.
I don't know why. We only have one prom. It goes every other year. So in your whole high school
That
stay, you
makes
only attend one
sense.
prom.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, actually.
Talaga.
So in my case, I attended the prom when I was when I was in my junior year. Funny because we were not allowed to bring dates.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so weird. So we were not allowed to bring dates. We were just
Okay.
we're not even allowed to bring anyone, like even our parents. We're just there, all of the students with the teachers. I
Aquarium.
also came from a Catholic school. And then everyone is
Bakod.
obliged or
Bakod.
required to walk on the red carpet, except for
Bakod
me
nga.
because except for me because I hosted the JS prom.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky you.
So I wasn't.
Oh.
It was not fun. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Pero would you prefer to walk the red carpet or host the whole thing if you're going back?
Oo.
Well, I would rather host the whole thing. But
Yeah.
what I hated about it is because I am forced to pick a girl co-host. So parang, here we go again, that I am a
Right.
guy, that my co-host should be a girl. It's like, but okay, I have my girl co-host with me. Wala naman akong choice. I don't even have a choice.
Yeah.
Pero was she good? Was the girl co-host good or not? When it comes to bantering,
I'm-
conversation.
We didn't
Host.
even banter.
Oh.
We didn't even banter.
Oh.
Because we were not allowed to banter. I made a script.
Okay.
Like a normal host would do. You have
Right.
your like cue cards, idiot cards, and
Yeah.
to guide you through the flow. We were
Yeah.
not allowed to banter like a talk show kind of hosting. We're just there. We're actually I cannot call ourselves hosts. We were presenters. So it was a
Yeah.
very
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
boring
Yes.
program
Now I
Okay.
understand.
there. And here's the thing. When after the program, of course you have this after party, like everyone is
Correct.
dancing already. So
Yeah.
Correct.
us, we were if you want to dance, one requirement would be to find a
A
partner
girl.
of the opposite sex, yeah, the
Mhm.
opposite sex to
Okay.
dance with.
Okay.
And if the moderator would catch people like a guy dancing with another guy,
Mhm.
whether romantically, playfully, or whatnot. Kasi di ba pag high school medyo pilyo, so whether
True. True.
romantically
Yeah.
or
Mm.
playfully, they
Mhm.
would stop the music.
Oh.
Seryoso?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my, what a bummer.
What?
That's our bummer for
if
tonight.
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Nagka-bomber tayo.
if
Grabe.
if people dance in groups, they would stop the
Hindi
music.
rin pwede.
Oh my
Hindi, oh
Crazy.
Yeah.
God.
God. Habang
Sorry.
during
So
my
what we
prom,
did,
that's all in groups din eh.
Yeah.
yeah. So what we did, being the rebellious people that we are, and I'm so proud of
Okay.
that. When they
Yes.
stopped the music,
Uh,
we played our own music and danced to our heart's content.
yes.
Dance to the beat
Yes.
of your
Sarap
own
yun.
drum.
Right,
Daddy.
right.
Amen.
Yes.
It's your night anyway. Hindi naman night ng mga
Yeah.
guro
My
mo.
God.
Yes, di
Yeah.
ba?
So, anong
So
sabi ng
true.
mga madre at ng mga pari?
Mag-Our Father tayo, Char.
Yun
Ay,
Well, we
po.
like,
didn't have ano
Let's pray the
kasi
rosary for your
angel,
sins.
ano, the angel of the
our Catholic
Lord,
school
Mikey.
our
Correct.
our Catholic
Mag-angel.
our Catholic school are not run by nuns, and it is run by a priest
Ah,
president,
hindi naman.
but we don't have nuns. Yeah, we have like the teachers who finish
Uh,
education like
Okay.
normal.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
Catholic school.
Right,
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Right.
I see, I
So
see.
I
Okay.
San Beda, run by priests, and then my high
Yes.
school, St. Agnes Academy, was run by nuns. So yeah, we are brought up
Mm.
by clergy people.
Clergy people.
Clergy.
Clergy
Kasi
people.
sasabihin ko sana clergymen, pero may babae. Alright, so Nolan says, a friend of mine's school said they can only bring someone from the school as a partner. And he got up and said, I refuse to bring any of these ugly guys. And that was the
Oh
moment he
my God.
came out to the school.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh
girl.
my
Yes, girl.
Yes.
We
Don't
stand you,
settle for
grabe.
anything less than what you
Yeah.
deserve.
True.
Um, yeah, and I think Darren was also commenting on ballroom dancing being PE 101. What's
Oo.
PNU? She said blame it on PNU. What's that?
Philippine Normal
Philippine Normal
University.
I think
University
Oh,
Philippine
that's where he
normal.
studied.
School. It's part of the
Yeah, it
curriculum.
is part of the curriculum. I don't get
Same.
it. I
Yeah,
don't get
thank you
it.
for my college. I had yours before in San Beda, so I took a course in San Beda, so I know that. I think during my time they switched it to folk dancing instead of ballroom dancing,
Ayan,
because
folk dancing.
Well, that I would
folk
appreciate.
had more oomph than ballroom dancing. And when I transferred to UP, all our PE classes were all you get to pick whichever class from strip
Yes.
pole
Ah,
to ballroom. So pick.
Yeah.
Strippo. Well,
Yes,
hey,
yeah, we
Diba?
have that.
I never had that
Diba?
option in an all-male school.
Talaga.
UST has both.
We should have
UST
that.
has yeah. UST has both folk dance and social dance.
Social talaga.
Malas mo pag naubusan ka ng PE kasi either dun sa
True.
dalawa yung makukuha mo. Kasi we were back then my batch was the last batch wherein we were allowed to choose our own PE class. So the batch after
Ah,
us,
Ah,
naka-block na rin yung PE class nila. Block section na
interesting.
ouch.
din.
Uy, Patty,
So yes.
or 'cause I also went to UST first year actually. First
Mm-mm.
year, tama ba? Kasi parang block din yata kami. Kasi alam ko first year, lahat
Yes.
sports. Second
Mm-mm.
year, lahat dances, like social dance and then folk dance.
Yeah.
Ang natatandaan ko ganun eh. Hindi na ba
Hindi
ganun?
naman. Parang nung batch ko, we were allowed to choose which PE class we wanted to take.
Ah, okay, okay.
However, kapag minalas ka, let's say, kasi may schedule yung enrollment per college.
Right.
Kung ang college mo, medyo last on the list na mag-enroll, syempre yung mga nauna, they would choose the better PE classes. So, matitira yung folk dance, social dance, and there's
Yeah.
another PE class na medyo inaayawan din ng ibang students. I think that's fitness
Okay,
class. So,
okay.
yeah.
J Fonda, mama.
Ayun.
She's a maniac. Let's put on those spandex leotards and all.
Ganun level siya.
Parang I took a class like that in UP.
Right? Because those were the songs that we used to
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a class. I took a class similar like that in UP, but they call it balls and bands. So you had to use the giant medicine balls and the bands.
Okay. For a moment there, you got me thinking. You got me a little bit excited.
I know.
You got me all excited, but for nothing. So then, follow up. Oh, this is the guy who came out. Follow up, he started dating a teacher at the school 1 month after he finished.
Hey!
At least he finished na.
Right.
Living the fantasy.
Living the fantasy, yeah.
Yes.
I like
Yes.
Living your best life. Yeah.
I like this story, ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him to come and visit and chat with us.
Yes. Kung sino
Wow, they're having na political sila ngayon while drinking. That's fun.
Mga what time sila matatapos?
Antayin pa ba natin? Gusto nila sumali?
Diskurso.
Based on experience, mga hanggang 2 minsan.
Wow.
Uy, gusto ko yan. Naku, mag-Zoom tayo, Darren. At saka Pietro.
One Friday or Saturday Zoom.
Right, why not?
Inuman.
Actually, Nolan.
From Nolan.
In UP, I think they serve that.
I like this
one.
Talaga?
They do that modern dance, I think.
Modern dance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
have
love
a
hip hop and modern dance.
Yeah, I have a PE that's called street dance, and one of the lessons or practical lessons is footwork.
Seryoso?
Yeah.
How cute.
Oh my God. Who knew twerking would make its way to our curriculum?
Yes.
This is a lot more interesting than social dance and folk dance.
That's true.
Oh, yes.
Diba?
It's the now culture. Even even Game Boys napasok na sa literature classes, diba? Like even in Ateneo and then UP, I guess.
Correct. I think they're asking students to watch it and then do a review or pass a paper or something.
Yes.
Or it's a discussion in class.
I think it's the discussion in class. Kapantay niya si Zaza Saturna. If you're familiar with the comic books.
Okay, yes, I see that. I see that. It's fun. Yes!
Iba yung Jaja Saturna sa patayin sa Shokot si Remington. It's different.
Iba yun, pero maganda rin yun. Zombadings.
Correct. I'm applying to UP now. I hope my grades are good enough. Mikey, I need a Well, we can try to find you something in that area. Yeah, definitely.
Nolan, you can ask Pao. Pao Pangilinan is also a graduate of UP.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but he's taking med now, right?
Yes.
Where's he taking med ba?
Alam ko sa St. Luke's May nabasa
St. Luke's QC?
I think it's in BGC.
Yes.
I think the school's in BGC.
Okay.
Okay.
Tapos Nolan, you have to stay close to the CHK, the College of Human Kinetics. You'll have fun, you'll enjoy sightseeing there.
Why? What's there?
That's sports science. The volleyball players, the basketball players, they're all there.
The bodybuilder, the gym goers. And Gotcha. Well, yes.
You will see Paolo there if he's like coaching for the UP Pep Squad because he was a part of the UP Pep Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're lucky enough, we'll see him there.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Nolan, Pao or Ian, body-wise?
Yes. Body-wise.
I'll take it as the answer. His answer is Paolo.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Me
It is
too.
I think
Paolo.
that's his answer.
Uy,
Okay, gotcha.
may sagot din si Ange. May participation din yung friend natin. O, Pak, St.
Why
Luke's
not?
daw.
St.
St.
Luke's.
Luke's.
BGC.
Nga
Yeah.
pala.
Mas
So they
alam
have
niya
Si
a
Anne, ang ating resident Pau
school
stand.
there.
True.
Yes.
Alam niya
Right.
yan.
So there are gonna be 3 episodes left. I mean, based on number
Ah.
of episodes.
Why?
So I think somebody mentioned it
Although,
earlier, right? That we don't know what's gonna happen. Let me look for that comment.
I
Um,
think Juan Miguel Severo tweeted that he's so excited to share what he wants to share, but he can't yet. So I'm
Okay.
hoping it's for additional episodes, but
Sana.
yeah,
Sana.
sana.
I sometimes I hear people saying that this is supposed to be like a prequel to
Ah,
another story. So
talaga?
Because we're
if,
kasi if
if
you
we're
remember, we're
talking
still in
about
2018, di ba? If I'm not correct.
Correct.
If I'm correct.
Correct.
oh
December
really
2018. Yeah. Yun yung,
The time frame.
the
yes.
timeline, yeah.
And maybe they
So
might go to this time afterwards. Maybe.
right,
I don't know.
Oh.
Yes.
So will it be like Tarn type 7 years after or something? Parang ganun.
present siguro, present time.
Yeah.
Maybe. Pero yun nga, parang I hear people in the Zoom hotel saying that this is basically just a prequel and then there is gonna be the main story, sort of, that's gonna happen after this one. Nolan says 3 will be free, but I respect Mark Makoy Koy too much. So pal. Yeah,
Oh.
we've sort of like deferred Ian to Makoy Koy.
Okay. Yeah. Ian.
Because he's like, yeah, he's all
Yeah.
about Ian.
Yeah,
Where
me
is that
too.
comment about the
20 episodes GSP.
20 episodes daw.
Ano?
I have a story to share.
Sige,
Go.
go.
Because
Go.
when I first heard or seen GSP coming from UP Manila, because the Girl Scout of the Philippines is so nearby, so I always thought that, why is
I
there a
know.
Girl Scout of the Philippines?
Girl Scout of the Philippines.
When I see tweets, people saying that they're watching this week's episode of GSP, so I go, huh? Girl Scout? Are they selling cookies online or
Crazy ka, grabe.
Grabe.
Tawa-tawa ako doon.
I'm dead.
Girl Scout of the Philippines. Just
I love that.
Ange says, where do I sign up? For the twerking classes, care of Papa.
It's with Nolan. But we prepared.
Oo, diba?
Right. Oh, by the way, the international folks are really hoping that it gets better. The situation gets better next year because they're thinking of coming over
Oh, yes.
Yay!
to meet everyone. You know, the actors, the reactants, everyone in the
And
community.
Yep.
Especially the actors and the actresses. So
Mhm.
hopefully
BLCon.
things get better.
Hopefully.
BLCon.
Yes. Hopefully it's a BLCon, and we're here to support just in case we can do
Yes.
anything. And of course, we want to be there as well. To share in the love.
Yes.
We're loving the series. Yes, we're glad that you are. Keep going. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't find the comment anymore.
Yeah.
So I forget.
Yeah. And I think parang the prelude of the BLCon is happening on October 26 to 30 by the UP Pride. Because they gathered most of the BL community to speak in behalf of about
Yun nga,
their hashtag sama-sama pantay-pantay.
that's the one you
So that's
posted.
a good opportunity.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I shared
Yeah.
and posted. So support lang.
Yes.
And it's a mix of different from Ian to Pau to Alec
Ang
and
galing nga
Ali.
eh.
So they're all there. It's a good mix of different people.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Pearl and Adriana So and Adrian Vergara together in one sitting. That'd be great.
Yes, yes,
Right,
yes.
absolutely. And I mean, I'm sure that we share all of this. I'm hoping that one of these days in the near future we get to have one of the cast members of a show that we like over
Oo
here, so that we can
naman.
talk to them, and
Yes,
maybe even the writers,
Mhm.
the
writers most
the
especially.
musical directors, diba? I mean,
Yes,
the
yes,
script,
yes.
Yeah.
the special effects people. I mean, we'd love to pick their brains and have a little bit of a chat. So
Yes.
hopefully that happens. So we'll see. And Dolan, you already know when you're here, we're gonna be welcoming you. We're gonna be bringing you around. We're gonna take leaves and all of that. So we can spend some
Mhm.
time together.
Oo naman. Yes.
And actually, we've already talked about the places that we're gonna go to, the food that we're gonna eat,
Mm,
the restaurants.
Mm.
What's on the
So
checklist?
yeah.
What's on your plans, if ever?
Well,
Well,
definitely a
hot
lot of
pot.
Filipino food. So Manam is gonna be there, right? And we're
Uh,
gonna have a lot of boba.
Ah,
oh
will
yes.
this be Nolan's first time here in the Philippines?
That's a good question. Nolan, I think it is. But Nolan, can you confirm that? Is it gonna be your first PH trip?
but he has a question
PH
though.
Okay.
care. Charing.
Oh, yeah, meron a question.
Yeah, we're
Do
excited
you have
on
any
Sunday.
idea?
On
Yeah, we're
Sunday,
excited on
yeah.
For
Sunday.
Boys Like Them?
Yes.
Yes, we are
Eh,
excited for
Yes,
Boys Like
yes.
Them.
yeah,
Yes, even
especially
that is
when
it.
they shared that they took references from Hanakimi, the anime. I
Mhm.
Mhm.
loved it.
So it is gonna be his first time in a
Oh
PH.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So yes, it's gonna be a fun times.
Although I would like to go to South Africa.
Oh, me
Oh,
too.
Right.
yeah. Definitely,
Yes.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Nolan is in Cape Town, so I think that's a more urban,
Ah,
Oh,
more urban
oh,
area.
I love
okay.
that too.
Cool.
Yeah. So I would also like to probably do a safari.
Mm-mm,
If we're
mm-mm,
ever in South Africa, because I mean
mm,
that's the thing you do, and it is
mm.
the National Geographic place.
Yeah.
But that's
Diba?
more West Africa, I think.
Oh, really?
Kenya,
So
Kenya,
it's gonna be farther.
it's farther, I think.
Yeah.
Here's another comment from Nolan.
Yes. So at one time we all watched um
Which one?
the
Which
the
commercials?
the trilogies, both trilogies, right?
Ah,
The
okay.
vow,
The
the date.
Vow, The
Grabe,
Date,
no?
Crush.
Iyak
Um,
talaga.
iyakan sila. It was a cry fest, basically. I mean, I felt a little something, something too, and they were welling up already. But since I've seen it before, I wasn't affected as much. But then there were
Ah.
people who saw it for the first time, and they were like, "Why are you doing this to me? Why are we torturing? Why are we torturing ourselves?"
Yes.
That was funny.
Have you let them see yung sa commercial on Globe, the one with the Rogue One, Great Courage?
No, 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 no. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I don't know
Wait,
if they've seen it, but
ano
my
yun?
question, we didn't watch that one.
It's a Star Wars themed one,
Yeah,
No, we didn't
it's
see
so
that.
good.
where the older brother's taking the younger sibling to school, and they were all dressed as stormtroopers.
Ay, grabe yun!
I
Maganda
don't remember that
yun.
one.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
Mm.
Yung may
What I
oxygen tank
do?
pa ba siya? Tama ba? Tapos
Oh,
parang, correct?
right.
Yeah.
It's that
I
one.
think I think I remember that one now.
Grabe yun.
But when you mentioned Globe, I know that there was this one other commercial wherein the dad sent a Facebook request to the son.
Oh, I know that one too.
Oh,
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes!
yes.
I
Yes.
wanted to see
Ganda
that one. I
I
wanted
yun.
to
love
see that
that.
one.
Ganda
I
yun.
wanted to see that one.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Um,
I like that.
yeah. Or was it Smart? Oh my God. I hope I'm not,
I think it is smart. So remember the
causing any
logo? No,
trouble.
Parang smart yata.
We'll see. We'll
smart.
Smart.
see.
Yeah.
I'll look for it. I'll look for it.
Oh, here's
What is
another
The
it
comment.
again?
telcos.
It's a drinking safari. Okay.
Oh, that works for me. Go.
Oh, there's a line park
Yes.
like 10 minutes from my house.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh.
that works.
Awesome. That works.
It's less expensive as well because the safari, as you know, is hella
Mm.
expensive.
Yeah, the flight going there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully Miss Rona goes away soon.
Yeah.
And the
Chill
situation
for
gets
good.
better. We're good. Like, don't ever come back. You're not welcome here. You can sit at our
Yes.
table.
Oo,
And
she
we wear
said
pink
that.
on Wednesdays.
Yes. And don't call your sisters, brothers, fathers, mothers, and whatsoever. Don't call them.
Mark, parang kang parang kang Lakeisha. Alam mo yun, you sound like Lakeisha. Parang
Correct.
kang black girl power, ganon.
Correct. Kina-chammer na natin to.
Sinammer na
Smart.
natin yan.
Thank you, Ange. Thank you for confirming that. It is smart. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yan na yung link.
we'll look for that. All
Yun
right.
na.
So I think this brings us to the end of our discussion. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. Thank you
I
very
did,
much
I
for
did.
sharing your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. And we hope that you join us again next time. And if you want to follow us, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Our accounts are Bruhaha B Squad. And you also have our individual accounts there if you want to follow us as well. And if ever you have any thoughts on what you want us to react to review, or maybe if you have ideas on what else we can do in this channel, please go ahead and let us know. We're open to all suggestions. Again, our opinions are our own. Of course, it's going to be different from yours, but basically, we're here to be able to share the love for the shows that we watch. So thank you very much for doing, for sharing your night with us. I know that it's late and it's already
Happy Saturday!
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's already 1 a.m.
Sabado
Oh my
na, te!
God.
Welcome to my shift.
This is a first for us.
You guys have any
Yes!
shoutouts or anything you want to
Yeah.
share or
Oh, kalat
say?
hours na tayo.
That's ours na.
I think Tito Gus is already starting his channel.
Ah,
Everyone
talaga.
is started.
Anything you want to say, guys, before we formally close?
Enjoy the weekend. Happy Saturday.
Enjoy.
All right. Thank you very much again, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Happy Saturday.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Thank you, Nolan.
Bye.
Thank you,
Happy weekend.